Hello YouTube fans, here again, and let's try on now with the 1983 marathon of action films, and this one is definitely an action film from in 3D. That's right, that being Jaws 3, or some would call it Jaws 3D. Now, after the success of the two Jaws films, that being Jaws and Jaws before you thought it was safe to go in the water, Jaws 2, they decided to make a third one, and they wanted Roy Scheider to prize his role. Now, as you may already not know this, Roy Scheider didn't want to do Jaws 2, didn't want to do it, but they begged, they pleaded, and they managed to get him to do it. However, in this one, being Jaws 3, he really didn't want to do it. And at the time, he put himself into doing another film being called Blue Thunder. Now, I like Blue Thunder, and to be open and honest, Blue Thunder inspired a TV series, inspired another movie film being Airwolf, as well as a TV series of that. So I kind of like Blue Thunder, and in many ways, it was a good thing because you've brought out another good actor to prize Jaws 3D, that being Tevin Chade. I love Tevin Chade. Tevin Chade is one of my favourite actors, and he sort of like takes the role of being Sheriff Boldy's son. So it makes it a different gnome, and it sort of brings it now into the 80s. At the time, as we already know, 3D in the 80s was a big thing. They made a lot of films in 3D. I mean, you had Friday the 13th, Part 3 in 3D. You had Annabelle 3 in 3D. And they did like a number of films that were in 3D. So 3D was a big gimmick in the 80s, so they decided why not do Jaws 3 in 3D. It had two titles. It was called Jaws 3, and it was also called Jaws 3D, whatever you want to call it. Now, over the years, this film's been booed. It said it's the weakest, it's this, it's that. I'm going to offend it. I'm going to offend Jaws 3 or 3D. Because if you go to, let's say, the Snooze Fest, which I took the piss out of once, I did this. I was taking the mick, and that would have been Jaws the Revenge. Because Jaws the Revenge is a bad film. That does make you think. So I'm going to do a comparison here. Jaws 3D, you got a day opening where you got a fish. You see it get eaten up 3D style. You see its head floating along. You got the 3D gimmick, Jaws 3D fly out at you. You got an epic music. You got the big dock off sack. You got loads of people getting eaten up. You got a good actor like Tevin Chade. Alex James Jr. is in this as well. What do you get in Jaws the Revenge? What do you get? Music, they've used a million times, nowhere near as effective as the other ones, you know, that dun 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 dun, that music. A reek version of that. You got actors, why not? I love doing it. The kill off Roy Scheider's character, he didn't want to do it, but they die him off in such a shitty way. You've got the mum taking over the lead, really doing a reek job. You got Michael Caine just doing it for a bit of this and for a fee-figuring oddity and the pyjamas. You don't get any of this in Jaws 3D. You get a day opening, you get it all. I do a comparison. Should I go on? So in this one, however, I love it. I just love it. That's how you got that day opening. I'm not going to do the rest, I'm going to kill it. But I love it. And you got the idea it's now like in a wire. You got the idea it's a lot of days later. You don't sort of kill off Roy Scheider's character, which I'm happy about. But you do get like my favourite actor being Tevin Chade as the son of Sheriff Bolder. You got the idea he's following his daddy's footsteps and he's sort of like a dad and it's going on in a wire. And they've got this troll thing. Like I say, the film's shot in 3D, so you do get a few 3D gimmicks here and there, you know, the pulse coming at you. You got the idea at the time, they had the red and the blue sun classics. I remember wearing it last time I did this. And so you get that gimmick where they're wearing red, or they're wearing blue, or they're wearing whatever, right? You got one guy, he's a bit of a dick, got muscles and everything, and he goes underwater. He knows what the sheriff told him, being Tevin Chade. I do remember, I think on TV, they did cut it down a bit here and there. And this, I've got the totally uncut one, and I love it. because he's underwater, right, and he's fixing this thing. Next thing you know, he's got the shark open its mouth like that. Really cheap. Oh, even the date sticks in my head, that. And you've got the arm floating along, 3D style of Jaws. Really gruesome. This has to be one of the most gruesome ones out of the Jaws films. Really is. Really got to be a gruesome one, because you've got like arms, you've got legs getting bitten off, you've got the gruesome sound effects. And when you think about it, this is the only time you actually see a man, I'm not making this shit up, a man stuck, which I know it was cut down on TV, but if you see it uncut, originally, an uncut one, you do see a man tapped to the shark's mouth. You see the mouth going die to get out the shark's mouth, and you actually see him getting eaten alive. I shit you not, by a flipping great white shark, bigger than an house. You see it eat him alive. And this is really, really juicy, really ballsy. That's what I love about Jaws 3D. It is a ballsy film. For a film what in America was a PG-13, I thought it was pretty ballsy. A very ballsy film. So you got it all in this film, and I love it. You know, it's James Jr. He wants to have this theme park. You've got the idea the mummy shark's broken in and the baby shark's broken in. And this is a film that makes you feel sorry for the shark. Because you get the baby shark, and it's James Jr. being a businessman, wants to make a bit of this. So he puts the baby in a little pond, and the poor thing thinking dies. So you feel sorry for it. And you know what I mean? You think, what a dick. You've got people who does, and they know the big shark's in. They found the body of that guy, again, uncut, really juicy. And you got the idea to take white shark's done it. So they go after the shark, and this is the shark that's been the biggest shark ever. It is a beast. It is a monster. People say, oh, it didn't look that real, it looked fake. Go to toss to defend. It looks fake. You know what? I go over that, over CGI, any day of the week. I love it. It was proper flipping mechanics. Yeah, okay. So some of it's a bit dated now, like the bit where the shark's going near the window, the 3D gimmick, and it's going near the window. You can see how fake it looks. But you know what? I like that. I like it. Shoot me. It has a charm. And that's what I love about Jaws 3D. It has a charm. Because they're aiming to get the shark. Like I say, that poor guy gets eaten up. And they're trying to blow it up. And they're trying to drown it. They fail. So they think they got away with it. They get the, like I just said, the 3D gimmick of the shark going. Smashes through the window. The only thing that gets me is it never tells you did Eric James Jr. die or not, because he's underwater, right, and he saves this woman. You see a guy getting eaten up, really good, beautiful. But you don't know whether he's dead. But Devin Jade, his woman, get out of Dodds, get a bit of the effect, does look a bit shit, with two dolphins come out 3D style again. I thought that looked a bit phony. But the rest of it, I loved the film. I mean, I loved that fancy feel to it, where it goes. I'm not going to do the rest. It's like a fancy feel to it. Yeah, some of the 3D gimmicks haven't dated well. I mean, you can see nowadays the gimmick, but I'd like to say I like that idea. I mean, I felt, how can I put it? I just felt like it had a charm. I mean, I'm trying to think of a good word here. I felt like Jaws 3D. It had a charm. It was old school. It was ballsy. I felt it was really gruesome when it wanted to be. Is it as good or classical as the original Steven Spielberg one? In all fairness, no film will ever touch that. But again, like one, like two. The third one I loved. I loved it. The only one I fucking hate is Jaws the Revenge. If I get to it, it'll be a rant again, because it's a snooze fest. So to repeat what I said. But Jaws 3D, I have no faults. So it's the last of the 1983-80s marathon. During 1 week, I'll be going into 1984 and going into my favourite action films then. Was it really an action film, this song? I'd say a bit of both, because it's more of your typical monster film. It's a Daijin with a great white shark. It does have action in it, it has 3D in it, you got a beautiful girl in it. You have it all. But until then, be smart, be safe. See you later.